How's it everyone? Welcome to Bait Tactics. Making broths, roasting seeds and smoking ingredients is one of the most underrated and underused methods and tactics in carp baits, and is something that can totally transform your bait making. So let me show you how to make super rich and creamy bone broth and fishy roasted sunflower seed boilies with matching balanced hook baits drenched in a beautiful smoked krill and betaine liquid. So if you like making super unique homemades, this video is definitely for you. Let's go, buddy! You can use any bones or seafood scraps that you want. I like to use chicken bones as they're packed with nice, thick, nutritious marrow. And then about 210 grams of sunflower seeds with the shells on. Now put your bones or scraps in a pot, add a handful of salt and get them boiling. You can put them in the slow cooker overnight, but I usually boil them for 2 to 4 hours, constantly adding water until they are soft enough to put in the food processor. I want about 150 grams of roasted sunflower meal, so I'm going to roast about 210 grams of seeds with the shells on. Make sure not to burn them, you just want to give them a nice deep roast. And if you want to see more videos like these, please help the channel grow by subscribing, liking the videos, and please let me know from where in the world you're watching from in the comment section. After roasting, I'll put them through the food processor a few times, sifting them after every pass. I want to get rid of most of the shells, but I do want some fine shells in there to add some fiber in the mix. You are now left with a beautiful, rich and oily meal, adding heaps of flavor, aroma and attraction to any base mix. When the bones are soft enough, I'll also put them through the food processor a few times, making them as fine as possible. Don't worry too much if there's big pieces of bone left, you just want to extract all the marrow inside of them. Now I'll let it thicken on low heat and also put it through the sift. Sift it properly, making sure you get all those little pieces of meat and marrow. You've now created a nutrient-dense superfood that will complement any mix and will take any boilie or pellet to the next level. I'm only going to make a 1 kilogram base mix. So the other ingredients that I'm going to use is 300 grams roasted soya flour, 100 grams of lamb or calf milk replacer or any other milk powders, 80 grams of maize meal or semolina, 350 grams of fish meal, 30 grams of coarse chili. I like to sift mine a bit, but you can add it as is. And then 30 grams of garlic powder, but you can use any spices that you want. Now mix everything together, put it in a heavy duty plastic bag and shake well. This is the best method to make sure that everything is mixed properly. For the liquids, you can add anything that you want, and I just complemented the bone broth with some nice and spicy homemade black pepper hydro. Just make sure that you don't add too much water, otherwise you stand a chance of your baits cracking. The amount of eggs that you are going to use is going to depend on the ingredients you use and how much other liquids you add. For this mix, I added 10 eggs, of which I put about 1 egg's worth of finished liquid aside for my hook baits. I also kept aside about 80 grams of base mix for my hook baits and slowly started adding and mixing my base mix to the liquid. Mix and knead it properly until it stops sticking to your hands. And just a quick tip, the smaller your nozzle, the softer you want your dough to be. A beautiful mix, and you can also save some paste for wrapping your baits. Put your dough in a bag and put it in the fridge to rest while we make our hook baits. I added 5 grams of micro spears to 80 grams of base mix. I don't want them to pop up or stand out. I just want them to be 2 or 3 times lighter than the freebies around them, making sure that when the fish comes around and sucks up the bait, the hook bait flies into its mouth nice and deep, ensuring you get proper solid hook holds every time. Now mix and knead it properly and put it in a bag to rest while we sort out the freebies. I always oil all my tubes before I press sausages, and for this one I use some homemade hemp oil. There is a video on the channel on how I make the homemade oils, and I'll leave the link in the description. You can roll them with a table, but I like to cut them into different size pellets. I really believe that providing them with different shapes and sizes definitely gives you an advantage, especially on pressured venues with bigger, older, weary fish. And the easiest, cleanest and best way to cut sausages is with a nicely oiled up pizza cutter. It cuts them nice and clean and doesn't squash or deform the edges. Now you can boil them, but if you're going to spend money on decent ingredients, I believe that it's better to always try and steam them, as you definitely lose a lot of valuable leakage and attraction through boiling. When you're done steaming them, leave them to dry. I'm also going to make a glug for the hook baits and a coating for the freebies. This will super boost their attraction and will also make them shelf stable and stop them from going moldy. I got my hands on some beautiful whole smoked krill, but you can use any fishy or meaty meals that's available to you. I also added Betaine HCl, some homemade vitamineral and amino acid premix, half a teaspoon of citric acid, a splash of black pepper hydro, and about 200 ml of vegetable glycerine. I let this liquid mature for at least 2 or 3 days, making sure that all those flavors and attractors are soaked up properly before I use it. And the smokiness of the krill definitely takes this to another level. If you are not going to add any preservatives, it's always best to either coat or glug them in a glycerine based liquid, freeze them or dry them out completely and just rehydrate them before your session. My matching balanced hook baits also came out beautifully, so I'm going to put them in a tub and glug them. This will not just preserve them, but also supercharge them, making them super potent and attractive. And you don't have to soak them completely, just make sure that everything is properly covered. And I'll do exactly the same with my freebies and leave them to soak for at least 2 days before I send them downrange. And I like to use these 500 gram doy bags. It's easy to coat and store them in and very convenient, especially on short sessions where you only need a small amount of boilies. And my main aim with these videos is not just to show you recipes, but to show you tactics, methods and ingredients that you can make and use to create your own unique, super awesome baits. And as always, why buy it when you can make it even better? Thanks for watching and tight lines.